Hello, Colts Nation. What's up, No Horsing family? Welcome back to another episode of the No Horsing Around podcast. As always, we are powered by Wager Wire, you guys. Wager Wire is a first of a kind app where you will be able to buy and sell your previously placed sports bets. You can jump in, you can jump out of all the futures all season, no matter the sport. You can even cash in on parlays before they bust and trade game lines up to the minute. It's going to change betting forever for you guys. Make sure you guys go over, follow them on Twitter at WagerWire for sports talk, and make sure you also check out their Twitter Spaces, which are done by fans for fans, which is really cool because that's all we do too. The app launches this year, so make sure you go to wagerwire.com, drop your email address, and prepare to be blown away, you guys. Just blown away. So we are going to dissect a little bit of the coaching candidates, right? Like we've been waiting for this. We've been wanting to see what is going to come of who are they going to interview. That's all we've talked about. That's all we've been interested in, kind of what's going on. Who are they going to talk to? Obviously, we have a list of about 5 right now. You know, we have Ben Johnson, we have Aaron Glenn, we have Shane Steichen, we have Jeff Saturday. We know he's going to be interviewed. We also have Raheem Morris, and we had a new one today who is the Broncos defensive coordinator, whose name for some reason is escaping me real quickly. I'll make sure that I do his. You guys are going to see a video from him. But today's video, we're going to kind of break down just a little bit, very briefly, not a long video, each candidate a little bit. And on today's one, as the thumbnail says, it is Raheem Morris, the defensive coordinator for the LA Rams. This is one that I actually really like. I caught a little bit of flack, caught a little bit of blowback from Colts Nation because I do support it. I do like it. I actually like the list in general on who Ballard and Irsay are reaching out to talk to. Raheem Morris, for those who don't know, like I said, he is the defensive coordinator of the LA Rams. He's held that position for a couple of years now, since Brandon Staley, I believe, left. He won a Super Bowl, obviously, with them. He's actually a 2-time Super Bowl champion. We'll get to that. Okay, so he started with Tampa Bay under Gruden and won a Super Bowl while he was there. He was kind of like a defensive quality control kind of guy, right? Gruden gets fired. Raheem Morris steps in as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks at 32 years old, you guys. It's kind of mind-blowing, right? Like we look at Sean McVay. Sean McVay was around that age. He lasted 3 seasons. He had 2 losing seasons sandwiched in between. He had a 10-win playoff season with Josh Freeman as his quarterback. Gets fired. Okay, he moves on at that point, right? Goes to the Washington Redskins. At that point, links up with Kyle Shanahan, right? Kind of in that vein, because he shows what he can do in the several years he's with the Washington Redskins, right? He ends up over at the Falcons at this point with Kyle Shanahan again. Now, here's the interesting thing, you guys. Defensive back coach, defensive coordinator, passing game, DB coach, defensive quality coach. That's what he's been up to that point. Goes to the Falcons, switch sides of the ball. This is why I find him very interesting, right? Becomes the assistant head coach and the passing game coordinator. It's kind of cool. Also takes on wide receivers coach. So he's coached both sides of the ball. He's coached with Kyle Shanahan, right? Stays with the Falcons under Dan Quinn as well. Good head coach who ended up kind of expiring his time with the Falcons. So he's under Dan Quinn, leaves there after being the interim head coach and not getting that job. A lot of people felt he should have got the job. It went to Arthur Smith. Ends up out in LA, where he has been the defensive coordinator for the last several years, including the one with the Super Bowl previously. I like him. It's a name that kind of popped around in my head a little bit. It's not a name that obviously that we mentioned on the show when we were mentioning different names, but I like it. He has an understanding of offense and defense. He comes from a really solid coaching tree. I mean, look at through you guys. He coached under John Gruden, Dan Quinn. He coached with Kyle Shanahan, and he coached under Sean McVay. Like, he's 46 now. He's older. Man, I like the idea of him. I could very well be convinced of him coming here because he would be able. I know a lot of people are always young OC, young OC. Dude has experience on both sides. I don't really care whether it's offense or defense. I've said I want a guy who can come in who isn't solely focused on one side of the ball, right? Who can manage the game. I think that's where Coach Frank kind of messed up some. I think the play calling duties are overwhelming a little bit. Brian Dayball in New York immediately, as soon as he got the job, gave up play calling because he needed to focus on the game flow. And that's something I think we saw a lot with Frank was the inability to be in that game flow, right? So I like that. I think he could put together a hell of a staff with those kind of connections between Shanahan, McVay, Gruden, Dan Quinn. I think he could really put together a really, really solid staff, come here and be almost a CEO type. People gravitate towards him. As I was doing research on him, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald speak very highly of Raheem Morris. We could do a lot worse. I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want to know what you guys think. Is he a viable candidate? Would you be upset if he's hired? I know a lot of people want that young offensive coordinator. We're interviewing a lot of defensive coordinators, a lot of defensive positions and a lot of people who aren't what you would think, right? So, how do you feel? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. As always, you guys, please, please, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Make sure you join the family. We're heading to the off season. Ding the bell because you're going to be getting a ton of information, especially as these interviews start to go. We know Ballard spoke to the press recently. We know that he did his end of the year presser, and we know that this could be a lengthy process. This could be several weeks, right? All these guys can interview this week that we're going to talk about because they're either not in the playoffs, their team isn't, or they're on a bye. So this is going to kind of take place, and this is the first round. There's going to be more names that come up. I'm excited to talk about it. Let me know what you guys think. As always, you guys, I love you. I know Zach loves you. I'm out.